And not tomorrow or next week, we need it right now.
Damage to car tires, bumpy car rides, and the traffic frustration. Potholes and bad roads have become the unavoidable thorn in the flesh of the Jamaican motorists. But why? And can Jamaica turn the page to an era of better roads with new roadwork projects? Well, Lead Story is here to investigate. Join George Davis from February 10 to 12 at 8 p.m. for our Lead Story special, the story of the Jamaican pothole. See it happen right here on CVM TV.
Enjoy the things that matter. Family, friends, and the keys to your home.
The time by NHT is
8 o'clock.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights
Mighty takes the baton this Wednesday. Your morning begins with some biblical love in Wednesday service. Then it's a lesson on the one drop beat. Give me little one drop. Grab your Valentine. Bailey's has something sweet in store. And we'll wrap things up with the lyrical legend Barrington Levy. Why Not Wednesdays, powered by Flow. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
We're the first in them brand when we get locked up. So yeah, cartel around gang and him a done. No, a different thing me a deal with. We represent to get you from a distance.
It's supposed to hard to separate Vibes Cartel from just Daddy Do It.
Them separate me real quick.
Yeah.
Them bring me down right down to Daddy level. The influencer cartel bring someone
Not
that
up
try
for debate.
Them can't be
Not up for debate.
Them are drinking.
The Cut, brought to you by Flo and Rare Nephew.
Now I'm where I wanna be.
Yeah, episode 1 was on Monday. This is installment 2 of Lead Story Prime, looking at potholes in Jamaica, looking at the causes for potholes. We're going to climax on Wednesday with the solutions to the problems, alternative that the government can pursue, and of course the people building and fixing the roads. This evening we're looking at the economic cost of potholes. Just what does it cost you to sit in traffic caused by bad road conditions when you could have been putting your time to productive use? We have a panel of experts assembled this evening who can give the informed perspective to make your experience worthwhile. This is Lead Story Prime. I'm happy to tell you that the show starts now. Pothole paradise is what some people call several parts of the island, given the way that vast stretches of roadway are riddled with potholes, as if they've never seen a road or a compressor in all its existence. And the program that we sought to do, or we are seeking to do for you, we had one installment on Monday, is just to raise awareness about what can be done to make the road surfaces last longer, how it is that the approach to construction, maintenance, and supervision can all triangulate to make for better road surfaces. We talk about the misery index, we talk about the pain points. Pothole is perhaps at the number one, at the top of the list of pain points for Jamaica. Everybody using the roads, which is everybody, whether you own a vehicle or not, has some horror story about potholes, has some important assignment that they missed, important appointment that they were late for, and those who use their vehicles to earn their bread can talk about the exorbitant sums that they calculate having to spend yearly to operate because of the demons on the roadways. As we did on Monday, we are setting the context for the discussion this evening. As we said, we have been deliberate in how we've been taking the conversation along, not trying to answer all the questions in the first installment on Monday. We certainly aren't trying to do that today. It will all bubble to the boil on Wednesday's show. This evening is another important aspect. This time, the productivity cost, the economic cost of spending time in traffic because the roads are bad.
Jamaica's road conditions are more than just an inconvenience. They are a major economic burden. Across the island, potholes, congestion, and poor infrastructure are taking a toll on workers, businesses, and the national economy. Whether it's a commuter stuck in morning traffic, a delivery truck slowed by uneven roads, or a business owner facing increased transportation costs, the impact is undeniable. Bad roads are making Jamaica less productive. Jamaican roads are infamous for their potholes, which seem to reappear shortly after every repair. Poor construction practices, weak maintenance systems, and the country's tropical climate all contribute to the problem. However, the real cost of potholes extends beyond the inconvenience of a bumpy ride. Potholes cause extensive damage to vehicles, leading to frequent repairs and higher maintenance costs for drivers. Suspension damage, tire replacements, and misalignment issues are common, putting financial strain on both individuals and businesses with vehicle fleets. Drivers must slow down significantly to navigate pothole-ridden roads, leading to longer commutes and delays in deliveries. Public transportation systems are also affected, making it harder for workers to get to their jobs on time. The logistics and transportation sectors are particularly affected as damaged roads slow down supply chains. Small businesses reliant on efficient transportation for goods and services face increased operational costs and reduced profitability. Beyond potholes, traffic congestion is another major hindrance to national productivity. Kingston, Montego Bay, and other urban centers experience chronic gridlock during peak hours, costing the economy millions in lost time and efficiency. Inefficient road networks and congestion negatively impact Jamaica's public transportation system, making it unreliable and even damage some of the vehicles in the public transport sector. While on the road, we saw in real time the damage a pothole cost a bus from the JUTC trying to maneuver it. This disproportionately affects lower income workers who depend on buses and taxis to commute. A study by the World Bank estimates that poor road infrastructure can cost the country up to 5% of its GDP annually. Businesses experience delays and increased transportation costs. Workers lose valuable time in traffic, reducing work output. The government faces rising road maintenance expenses, further straining national budgets. To improve productivity, Jamaica must take a more strategic approach to road construction and traffic management. Long-term road solutions, traffic management strategies, regular road maintenance plans. Jamaica's economic activity depends on an efficient, well-maintained road network. Every pothole, traffic jam, and delayed delivery represents lost time and money. How can we address this? Well, we discuss on Lead Story.
Thank you very much, T.G. Kelly. My guests this evening, the president of TOS, that's the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, Edgerton Newman. Lakim Samaj is a management consultant. He's on Zoom. Dr. Christian Stokes, he's an economist, and he is alongside Edgerton in the studio with me. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello.
Lakim, you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Good evening and welcome.
My pleasure.
Good. Let me start with you, Dr. Stokes. Yeah. I want us to start from a perspective where we explain, and you do that very well, whereby we're not presuming that everybody understands how time spent in traffic by virtue of bad roads leads to, results in a hit to productivity, and I wanted to explain that.
Yes, okay, so productivity takes place for the most part, not for all parts, in the office.
Yes.
In the factory. Some people make up for it by being on their phone, which is fine. But when you get to work late, when you can't get to work, you have to miss days of work, it's expensive to get to work, it's cutting into your salary. It means that you're spending less time in productive activity, which cumulatively, not just one, cumulatively for the country, I believe is very expensive. When the World Bank talks about 5% of GDP, that's huge. That's huge.
That's massive.
Yes. That's massive. So the issue is, when you ought to be doing productive things, you're just trying to get from one place to the next. It's not very different, for example, than trying to renew your license or to do something. Now they'll tell you you can go online, which is a good thing. But these things take time, consume your time. It takes you away from productive activity, and collectively as a country, frankly, it's just very expensive.
Yeah. Edgerton, from your perspective, you make your living on the road. I wanted to explain to the viewers how transport providers like yourself suffer productivity losses by virtue of bad roads slowing you down.
Absolutely. Dr. Stokes said in the office. Now,
your office is on the road. In the four wheels.
Yes, on four wheels. And just before Christmas, rough check, 1,300 taxi operators could not work because of bad roads.
1,300?
1,300.
Across the island?
Across the island. It was a rough check.
Yes.
They could not go out because of the road condition, so they stay home. Now, you stay home for a day, they will lose $10,000, $12,000. Just for that, at the minimum.
Per capita, yes.
Okay? Now, so you check that 1,300 times that per day.
Yes.
The end of a week, these operators could not feed their family because transport business are hand to mouth, we call it that way. The fact is, though, that the sector bleeds because, and a short story, a Monday morning, I was taking a taxi from Halfway Tree to Windward Road. He bumped into a pothole just after past Excelsior, at the intersection there.
Which way are you going? Going south?
Going south. There's two tires. Now, when I look at the driver's face,
I know the spot.
Tears come to my eyes. You know the spot. Yes. Tears come to my eyes. Because he said to me, "No, I lost two tires, Newman. I just come from the garage. Front end, you spend a weekend in the garage." Hundreds of my members lost revenue that way.
Yes.
You'll understand the St. Thomas Road. You'll understand the St. Mary Road. Well, St. Thomas is carpet now, you know. The St. Mary Road, a number of roads across the island.
Yes.
These guys go to the mechanic shop. Their minimum cost is $50,000.
Yes.
For front end. And not more tires now.
And so what you're saying is not just the traffic congestion by persons having to navigate the road carefully because of the holes. You're talking about the productivity loss from having the vehicle in the shop when the vehicle should be out working.
You should know better. My taximen are skillful guys.
Yes.
So the traffic congestion is, is bad. But
I'm happy you said it.
Is that what you call it? That's
skill you call it?
Skillful guys, right? But it's a fact that they lost because of, you want to reach from Crossroad to Halfway Tree and you're in that traffic because of the potholes on the road. And so when you would make 4 trips, you end up making 2.
Yes.
Right? And therefore, we lost a great deal of revenue from that.
Yes.
And so that's why I say they're skillful sometimes because we turn off. But if the man in the seam catch him, then he pay doubles.
Absolutely, sir.
Right?
Double, and doubles pun intended and Beelman and Trinidad. But here's the thing, Dr. Simaj. I want you to talk about the productivity issue from the perspective of the situation on the roads causing many people to channel their inner bounty killer by the time they get to their office because the man and the woman is cross, angry, miserable, sir.
Well, absolutely. But you see, to pick up on where Edgerton talked about, when I burst at least 5 tires in the last month. In fact, the last thing I had to do was change out my rims, literally, because low profile rims and tires don't work in Jamaica with the quality roads we have. As you touch a pothole, you go to the rim shop to get your rim repaired if it could. But the factors in terms of an individual standpoint, look, people literally, one estimate is that Jamaica was actually even mentioned in a global study as one of the places whereby road condition caused significant loss of productivity. Estimates are between 3 and 6 hours daily in traffic. Lagos, Nairobi, and Kingston, it was pointed out. But then you feel a loss of control. You're sitting there wanting to be somewhere else, wish you could be, and in fact, that's the definition of stress, being here, but wishing you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know about the road rage and the aggressive driving and all of these things it leads to. But at the individual level, your stress hormone, the cortisol levels are higher. It actually results in higher blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. Even your immune system, sitting in traffic with the traffic fumes for hours after hours, impacts you in a negatively significant manner. So that's just at the individual level. When you get where you gotta go, you're tired, you're drained.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of you being able now to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, you're just trying to just thaw out by the time you get to the office or even by the time you get home. Your decision-making efficiency, your memory retention, all of these things have been documented in national studies looking at what happens in long commutes, how it impacts cognitive performance.
Yeah. And so, Dr. Stokes, I come back to you. Yeah. Does this kind of reality of the real productivity issues, is it your sense that this is factored into the road repair maintenance imperative of whichever party forms government?
Well, and the Prime Minister has paid some attention to that of late, and particularly speaking about the need for road maintenance, which is important. But let's back up a little bit. We have Vision 2030, right? That calls for us to become a developed country. There's no developed country with these kinds of roads.
None.
Now, is it that you fix the roads and then you become developed, or because you're developed you can fix the roads? I suspect it's the former, right? But we have to be careful, and I think as an economist I have a duty to point out that when the roads are fixed, the front-end man is going to have less work, less tire sales. The guy who's fixing the road, the same pothole 5 times for the year, is now not getting that income. And I say that because there seems to be, at a macro level, some incentive to not be so thorough.
You're kind by saying some incentive, Dr. Stokes.
Right, not to be so thorough.
Yes.
So as a country, we have to ask ourselves, and this is not a moral argument, it's an economic argument, that yes, the more contracts someone gets, the more they fix the roads. That's stimulus in the economy. That hiring people and that's fine. But as a country, is that what we want to do, or do we want to have an efficient system where people can get to work to do the specific activities that we deem as important for national development? And I think right now we're losing out on that.
Absolutely. I hold the point right there. I have to take a break to play some cash pot and come right back. This is Lead Story Prime. We're talking about potholes, the economics behind the pothole menace in Jamaica, and the economic cost of, the time we lose on the roads, and time that we could be putting to better productive use.
natural herbs and regular usage will improve strength, stamina, and performance. Black Stallion now has horny goat weed to give maximum satisfaction. Black Stallion now has strong back roots to strengthen your upper and lower back muscle. Know your Black Stallion.
For strength, stamina, and performance. Black Stallion, the bedroom tonic. Bring out the stallion in you.
Mighty takes the baton this Wednesday. Your morning begins with some biblical love in Wednesday service. Then it's a lesson on the one-drop beat. Give me little one drop. Grab your Valentine. Bailey's has something sweet in store. And we'll wrap things up with the lyrical legend, Barrington Levy. Why Not Wednesday is powered by Flow. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Welcome to the ZZ Lottery Draw for 8:20 p.m. Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. The one-drop winning number is 6. The hat-trick winning numbers are 8, 5, 9. The four-play winning numbers are 5, 8, 9, 7. The Lucky Day Lotto winning numbers are 9, 10, 13, 17, 14. The fireball is white. Thank you for playing with Izizi.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Welcome back to Lead Story Prime here on CVM TV. I'm speaking with Lakim Samaj. He's on Zoom. Edgerton Newman is with me in studio, as is Dr. Christian Stokes. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Well, I don't know about that, but I know that there are many roads that lead to somewhere near hell. In many places in Jamaica, there are those roads. And, we're sick and tired of that. And it's a long time. It's high time that for what we pay in taxes to the Treasury, to the revenue, that we get better roads to drive on and to do commerce. Life will be a lot easier in Jamaica if we had good roads taking us right across this beautiful place. Dr. Stokes, you wanted to make a point about investment as I try to shift the conversation
yes,
along.
Just a second. So there are several drivers to economic development. And let me just deal with three here. The first is the macroeconomic stability, which we have come a far way with,
yes,
and that I hope that we will maintain going forward. So check that. The second is human capital development, which is a problem. Means to say education remains a problem. We're paying more attention to that. The government is trying certain things. Schools are trying certain things. It remains a problem. The third thing is not the only three, but three very important ones, is capital investment, meaning to say the infrastructure in the country. And that includes internet, water delivery, electricity delivery, and roads. Those things that you need to have in place so you can get the most out of persons to improve their own lives and to drive the economy, which is a virtuous circle.
And things you can't compromise on.
No, you have to have those things in place.
Yes.
So, I know we're focusing on roads, but it's important to understand that that's a key piece of the puzzle that you need to stick in there.
Well, it's a top point, because with roads in among that three, then it becomes even more important. They need to have good roads along with good internet and good access and steady supply of water.
Yes. Yeah. And cheap electricity.
And cheap energy. Edgerton Newman, the issue of which roads to rehabilitate. I come to you with that first of all, because again, your members, your office is on the roads.
It's on the road.
What would you suggest to the government where their choice of roads to rehabilitate is concerned? Because they don't appear to be getting that right at all.
And I said on a program somewhere else that the technicians will blame the member of parliament and the minister and the prime minister for bad roads. I don't blame them, you know. I blame the technical people within those ministries who should be advising the minister and the member of parliament and the parish councillor people on which roads to fix. A matter of fact, let me say, because I have a number of my team watching what is going on, and I would be remiss if I did not say we are slowly moving from pothole paradise to patch hole paradise, which is wrong. Because what we're doing now, we are patching some roads with certain type of material, because God help us if the rain falls again. We're in trouble. And so I would urge government to call in the technicians or the technical people to say which roads are important. To me, all roads are important. Most of my guys are in the country parts. Some carpets are somewhere. We hardly use those carpets. We use the interior roads to bring the people to market and the student to school and that sort of thing. So all roads are important to us, but the interior roads are more important to us at this point.
Lakem, let me hear you on that. The process, if we can call it that, by which it appears our governments over time have fixed roads. They seem to be drawn to those stretches of roadway where people have just demonstrated, or there's a big hue and cry about it in the media. But no logical approach to fixing certain corridors to ensure that those areas are in good order. Perhaps there's a deficit there.
Absolutely. You know, I must say, I live in a residential area. 1 weekend ago, half of the main road leading to where I live was closed down for thorough repaving. But I said to myself, even though it's nice to drive on a road like that, but that effort is what is needed somewhere else. Because in the residential area, it's a whole different thing when the main roads in many places are just totally without paving. Now, Dr. Stokes mentioned a point a while ago about what would happen when the front-end man and the technical term for what he did, we used to call it buller work. Dr. Stokes, that is work that is totally unnecessary. It does not add anything to the nation's coffers as such. So much of our road work is technically buller work. A colleague of mine responded to an article I wrote on this issue, and he made a very good point. He says that you look at the roads over the last 50 years, many of the roads are still being patched, and many of the roads are outlast their usefulness. The entire road has to be repaired because those roads used to carry some Leland truck and going to market. Now they're carrying some 14-wheel truck, and the number of axes and the amount of weight. So that, as Mr. Edgerton said a while ago, the technical people, they're out of the mix completely. The road many of them are just no longer functional.
I want to throw this to you before I go to the break, Dr. Stokes. So this issue of road selection for rehabilitation, it must be commonsensical, one would think, that the roads in and around your commercial hubs, into Kingston and into the corporate area in Kingston, into Montego Bay, into Mandeville, into Mapen, in and around Linstead, in and around Old Harbour. You can't afford for those areas to be pothole ridden. And so, if you are to consistently fix anywhere, it would stand to reason that those areas would get priority, but we don't see that happening.
Right. So there are a couple of ways to think about it. There's rationality is a strange thing, and incentives. The politician in a constituency has an incentive to fix the road to win the election and to satisfy people, which may not have anything to do with the national strategic plan. All right, I need to keep my folks happy. What I will say to you is that I'm just coming back from Guyana. I spent some time with the very outstanding president there, Dr. Ali, and some of his ministers. And in talking with him, he was very clear on the need for roads and which roads. In Guyana, because the whole heap of bush far back. So I saw a very clear strategic thinking behind why we are doing this particular highway and so on. And I think we saw that with the north-south and the North Coast Highway, which needs to be redone. on my side of the country, on the south side, there's a lot of progress. However, the issue has to do, I think, with people trying to leave their homes and go to work and move around town areas, which frankly most of the economic activity happens.
Yes.
And it is not 10 years ago, we have a lot more cars on the road. The weight of the car is one issue.
Yes.
The number of cars is another issue. So I think we have to look for the economic activity hotspots and deal with those.
Yes.
Not the guy who blocked the road.
Yes. And that strategy has to be apparent. Yeah.
Yes.
And then the tactics involved in fixing the roads. The what and the why represent the strategy, the how, the tactics, they need to align. Yeah. We take the break, Edget, and when I come back, I'll give you the chance to make the point. This is Lead Story Prime here on CVM TV, talking potholes, the state of the nation's roads.
So you can live your best life with your Jane Bank savings. You absolutely can. The time by Jane Bank is
8:30.
Thanks to my Prime Minister for this opportunity. For me, to be a homeholder.
I was living in a terrible condition for so many years. Thank you again.
We just try to make life goes on with the little that we have.
It is the aspiration of the government. It is what the government tries to do every day, to lift people out of poverty into a decent life. The new social housing program is a key component of the social safety net.
As I've always said, this is probably one of the most fulfilling programs for me, because you literally see the transformation of people's lives.
Ho, 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 ho.
CVM presents a special broadcast of the Stella Maris Dance Ensemble's Holiday Showcase on Thursday, February 13th at 9:30 p.m. Stay tuned after the cut and corner office and wind down with more entertainment and fun. See it happen on Thursday, February 13th at 9:30 p.m. only on CVM.
I respect the pothole them so disgusting on the road, man. Trust me, man. Them disgusting very bad, cause right now, you look out the whole of my front end. Me have to start out the whole of my front end for my car now. It cost me nearly 100,000 now. Me have to go buy tire, all them something there now. You see me? Because the road is so disgusting, man. The road need to just start out. From the rain still, because you know from the rainfall, the road the whole entire road just get mashed up away. The whole entire road just get mashed up away.
Jesus Christ, it a kill we. The pothole them a judgment because you the question now. The amount it a cost. You see by your just one picks up your front end. Just give a week or two, leak out back. No matter the amount of money you spend. But the head costs 100 and how much it costs that? Holy it, man. Yeah, most of parts expensive enough. Every minute them leak out. May I tell you the truth. And the man them have examiner out here, live on bus and taxi, and them now do nothing to ease the pressure for poor people. Because every minute sitting leak out on the road. Fix the road. Yes, no, honestly, that's why we have to pay increase each time, because it costs a lot to maintain a coaster.
It cost me 2 tires last week. I dropped in one, the rainfall, and I did not remember exactly where was the spot, and the tire damage. And 2 days after, I went somewhere else and I fell in another pothole and damaged my tire. It cost me almost $50,000 for the 2 tires. It is really, really getting out of hand. The government need to do something more. And taxman is being affected and there's no compensation. If we don't have a little savings, there's no way we can make it. all the little money that you put down and a save, you have to take it and go buy a back tire.
Boy, bad man. Real terrible, you know. Real terrible, bitching. Terrible. Much of a bus, them hard front end parts, control and bushing, tire, then we made it leak out. So you fix, so you leak out, spring blade, you know what I mean, broke up. There's a massive capacity, the word. Terrible, you know. Terrible, man. Broke up the bus, the front, the post, them broke up at times. I mean, devastated, man. They were devastated, bitching.
Whoa, well, that last gentleman there was distracting me with his shirt. I was trying to figure out what was on it. It looks like as if it was Jim Brown and Pam Grier. You know her as Foxy Brown, those 70s and 80s blaxploitation films. Dr. Stokes is nodding along with me here, and I'm sure Leaky would have watched a fair few of those himself back in the day. But yeah, he's talking about the real cost, gentlemen, of bad roads, especially for those who make their living on the roads. And I want to welcome Noel Brown to the discussion. He's a mechanical engineer. Good evening, Noel.
Good evening, sir.
Right. Just from the perspective of what it is, the damage caused to motor vehicles by the road surfaces and the repeated well, I don't want to say repeated falling into the hose, the repeated impact, blam, 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 day after day after day after day. What are motorists confronted with?
Well, let us start from the outside.
Yes.
One of the first things that will hit the pothole is your tire.
Yes.
So what you're going to have, and as you said, you have repeated hitting impact on the pothole. The tires, they have like a support element in it, a steel belt that is in it. Most of the tires are using steel belt. They have moved away from the nylon threading and to make the tires more sturdy. Once you start hitting these potholes, you're going to start damaging the steel belt. Once the steel belt gets damaged, the tire, the integrity of the tire is lost. Mm-hmm. You're going to lose the tire, really. So you can see some things like you have swelling on your tires. Yes. People refer to it as a baby, a bulge on the tire and things like that.
Or they say Pol Pot.
Yeah. So you're going to have that, right? And then after that, the tire would just disintegrate. It would fall apart. Some of the reason why we're having some of the damage is, one, you would have the series of tires that are being worn. Mm-hmm. You have like low series tires, and some of the sports car are 50 series tires or 55 series. Those tires is like your rim is almost touching the asphalt.
Like Leakim's car.
Correct.
Yes.
It's very low. So once those tires hit the pothole, it's not going to survive, really. If you have like other series, like a 65 or 70 series tires, that is kind of like talking about, you know, the height of the wall, or maybe the space between the rim and the asphalt.
Yes.
So once you use a larger series, you might survive it for a period of time. Also, you have to make sure that you have the right tire pressure, because if you have the tire pressure that is too high, what is going to happen is that the tire is going to be more rigid, and once it hit the pothole, you're going to have that damage to it.
Yes.
Now, once you hit a pothole like that, if you have the low series tires, what you're going to find happen is that you can damage the rim. In the good case, you can break the rim. If you're not using, you know, rigid steel rim, you can break the rim, and you can have a blowout, and it can also cause an accident.
Yes.
So, you know, damage to your tire is one, but you can end up, if you're going fast enough, you could end up in an accident. And then going in, what you're going to have now is that you're going to have your front end being damaged now, your control arm, your ball joints, things like that will start going real fast. Sometimes it will affect things like your rack and pinion steering will be affected and things like that. When you have challenges like those, then now you're stopped by an inspector.
As the bossman was saying to us just now.
And the inspector would check, and then your steering would be out, your alignment would be gone, your ball joint not sturdy enough and everything, and you might end up finding yourself getting a ticket or your car being seized or towed away.
Yeah. Continue.
But one other thing that I want to bring to our attention is the fact that we're moving now towards these electric vehicles.
Yes.
Right? The country is moving towards electric vehicles. Excellent.
Yes.
One of the things we have to remember about the electric vehicle is that they carry a low center of gravity. One of the reasons why they carry a low center of gravity is because they carry these battery bank. Most of them carry the battery bank low in the vehicle. So what that means is that the mass is kind of low. And also the motors, they might carry 4 independent motors or 2 independent motors on the drive wheels.
Yes.
So you have most of the weight in those cars are lower down. So those cars are prone to damaging the tires when they hit potholes, right? In the normal sense, what is happening is that these electric vehicles, they would carry a special electric vehicle tires.
Yes.
But a lot of people not using those tires because those tires are more expensive.
Yes.
They are more rigid and sturdy because of the low center of gravity. But people are not using them.
Right.
So the electric vehicle using a normal tire, they disintegrate, deteriorate really
It wasn't designed
fast.
for it.
It was not designed for it. Right? So we have to pay attention.
You know, just as I come to you, Edgerton, I saw a video recently, gentlemen, of, and I said I never knew this could happen. There was a man who was filming, who was showing that he fell into a pothole, the rim broke, and the force of the impact pushed the rim up onto the undercarriage and broke the undercarriage. So you're looking, so he opened the trunk and he was looking in the trunk on the ground, the floor, and then he was showing you the rim breaking like crockery. And I'm saying, but that must have been a hell of an impact. But then again, as you said, Noel, if the tire pressure was wrong and if the vehicle, because of the repeated impact, was on the verge of going and you hit that pothole, then that is likely to happen. Edgerton, the real cost that your members face. You heard Noel go through the various parts that have been damaged, and is he right in what he says? The parts he identified.
He's perfect in what he said. You know, the fact is, and I've mentioned it before, that the cost to the public transport sector, you can't mention it.
Yeah.
It's unmentionable.
But you've given me a per capita amount of what your drivers lose per day. But give me an idea of what it costs them to keep their car on the road with the road conditions as they are. What do they spend on average on repairs?
You know, let me tell you, on repairs per fortnight.
Yes.
I'm going to take it from the week per fortnight. It's pretty close to $60,000
on average.
Minimum. At minimum, not average. At minimum, $60,000, because when you travel on the Spanish Town Road, my guys come from Duane Park to downtown Kingston. Let me tell you something. That is, you know, they cry every day. Now, I want to mention to something that Doc said with regards to blocking the roads.
Yes.
We have to do that to get response.
Yes. To
it's
get the
unfortunate.
attention. Yes.
You know, I lock my phone sometimes. I said, no. Because I get in the cars, Newman, should we have demonstration?
Yes.
Should we block the road? Should we burn the road? I don't want to answer them.
Yes.
Because I answer them in the way I want to answer them, they're going to turn upon me and cost me.
Yes.
So therefore, I just put the phone aside. I know they're calling.
Yes.
The fact is, it's unfortunate that government allow us to go to the extent to block roads so that we can make a dollar.
Yes.
You see what happened on in a couple areas,
Yes.
about 5 areas over the past few weeks. We are saying that government can do much better by addressing. Never in my 27 years in public transportation I've seen so many bad roads. Never. And one wonders why. The fact is that government allow the small little pothole to become a swimming pool. And then the rain comes, and sustainable rain comes, and make it worse.
I want to give you the opportunity to just, well, it's not to clarify because it was as clear as a bell, just to streamline something you said, because I don't want people to leave with the impression that you are saying, look, the road has to be in some sort of a bad way so that the people who repair and so forth can keep the living that they have going, because the economic imperative of getting the roads right is greater than having them the way they are, so that those who fix the roads for a living are kept in employment.
Right, and you explain it very well. My point was not, and again, you know, just, and it's not a moral argument, but ethical argument. What the simple fact is that same thing with the roads. The more times you repair it, the more you get paid. There are persons who are making a windfall, I call it windfall profits now, from selling tires, fixing front ends, because it is so bad. it is not to say it is a good thing or a desirable thing. I'm saying that is what is going on in the economy. And what I wanted to emphasize was that as a country, it seems to me that we would be more interested in a mother getting her child to school on time, the public transportation system being able to take people to work, the persons operating that public transportation system, while they understand that they have to put gas in the car and a regular maintenance service, they don't expect that a part of the system that is the responsibility of the government should be costing them.
Yes.
And it is maybe a sort of tax and definitely a transfer of wealth that is a problem for them. Because if they're going to stay, they have to transfer money to somebody else to do their main piece of work. So the point of saying that is to recognize that that is happening, but to say that as a country, our interest is in having people, that capital investment, being able to go about their business in an efficient way, and that is what is going to move the country forward. If I can just add something quickly, you mentioned Spanish Town Road. That's a disgrace.
Yes.
Spanish Town, Marcus, it's a massive industrial center. We have this lovely highway, smooth roads, but where people need to travel to conduct business is a disaster. However, quickly say it's part of our drainage plan.
Yes.
And we have to apply our minds to that too. The water coming down from the city, running over that, all over the city. 1 month, was it? 1 month of rain we had? 5 weeks?
Yeah, well, ODPEM said that the 10 months between February and December was the most intense for rainfall in the last 5 years. So
Fine. But it's not going to change. It's not going to stop.
No.
We're going to have this. So we need to apply ourselves differently to get that part of the capital infrastructure properly situated for the country as part of moving forward.
Hear on that. Let's take another break and come right back. Dr. Samaj, after the break, I come right to you. This is Lead Story Prime on CVM TV.
The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency.
Daddy Shark. I'm in my nursery rhyme era. Not a nursery rhymes though, we are going, we are dealing. Today we are in a kids-friendly kind of corner office. We are here at We Are Kids Urgent Care. Carlton Healthcare, yes, because when you can find good healthcare, accessible healthcare for your children in a unique kind of way. Find out, come with me. Guess what? The wheels on the bus go round and round. Hey, me a sing, you know? Me a sing.
Welcome back to Lead Story Prime here on CVM TV. We're talking roads and the real issue of employees who are in a miserable state of mind when they leave the commute and they sit down in their offices to attend to the day's task. And because the commute was so rough, sitting in traffic because of the potholes, or the car you were in, your car fell into a pothole and you know what it's going to cost you to repairs. You fly off the handle at your manager or your subordinate or your colleague, and the whole day just get lost in this package of anger just because of what happened to you on the streets. Dr. Samaj, in the UK, they estimate that the time spent in traffic, caused by various reasons, not just potholes, but that time in the UK, it's about £9 sterling in terms of losses, productivity losses. In the US, it's estimated at about $10 or $16, beg your pardon, and in the Europe, it's about 10 euros. These are big figures, relatively speaking, if you calculate them and go exponential with the numbers. For someone in your field, do you get the sense that when governments are talking about urban planning and how to manage roadways and which roadways to prioritize for repairs, that the things that you speak of, factoring what bad roads cost to employee mood, morale, and productivity, do you get the sense that those things inform the decisions that our policymakers have to make?
Not at all, even at the most basic level. For example, roads really should not be flat. The center of the road should be a little higher than the side so that the water naturally runs off. as I watch them resurface and pave these new roads, they're just flat. And there's no drainage for most of our roads. So what happens? Water settles on the road. Water doesn't naturally run off the road. And tires, basic physics, the tire pulls the asphalt off the wet road. So that all the work we're doing now, it's going to just be, the time it's going to take to get it back to what we're coming from will be much less. So that if either at that level, that you're going to fix the road, but without any drainage, without any cambering, without raising the middle, so that all you're doing is just fixing a problem. So I believe that our cost is even much greater because of all the factors. And then now, when we mention the impact on the human being, the fact that the data is showing us things like obesity and cardiovascular disease are a function of what happens with these long time in the car, breathing all the fumes, and the stress that your body is going through, going to and from work. So, I don't think it's being calculated.
Yeah. Noel, when you look at parts of the corporate area where you'll have a car wash, and there's one I have in mind, and the wastewater from the car wash runs straight onto the paved roadway.
Yes.
And the city authorities, they don't do the surveillance necessary to pick that up, to prosecute, to cite that operator. And then that water, as Dr. Samaj is saying, settles on the road, eats away at the road surface. And then the other issue of no mechanism being in place when vehicles of a certain size and weight are entering into the urban space, for them to be weighed to say, well, are you at weight, are you underweight, are you overweight, you have to shed this weight before you come into this zone. Those things don't exist. How then do we expect to maintain the roads that we build and repair is my question to you, sir.
Well, you're correct, because I know that we had some skills on our highway at some point. I'm not sure if they're being used now. That is one thing. And I think that, some of these trucks are coming in, and what is happening is that they should be carrying maybe a 30-ton load, but, they want to eke out as much profit as they can.
Count the trucks who use Industrial Terrace, Spanish Town Road and what the damage that is caused to the road.
Correct. And then, so what they're doing is that they're putting on an extra 5 or 10 tons. So basically, that is creating a problem right there. The next problem that we're having is that these heavy trucks naturally damage the roadway because of the double axle that they have.
Explain.
So what happened is that even when you're turning one of these trucks negotiating a corner, what happened, the two axles that they're going is like they're holding and they're pulling the concrete, the asphalt apart when they're trying to negotiate a corner.
Yes.
Right? So it is very important that these trucks would carry the weight at which they are assigned. Another thing, I agree with Dr. Samaj saying that the roads are not built with the camber anymore, so that we have the base, not the side, to lead the water off and things like that. Another thing that I'll just throw out there, we don't have to argue it, but the material that is being used for construction of road, totally disagree.
We did that last time. We went through the base, the sub-base and everything else. Yeah, the asphaltic concrete,
Yeah, so that is also another problem. But yes, we have to limit the weight that these trucks are carrying, and then some of the time we need to have roads that these trucks are not allowed to ply, are barred from some of these roads.
Edgerton Newman, years ago, when Desmond McKenzie was only Kingston mayor, before minister and MP, and he announced that the road through, the road through Cassava Peace, that links Constant Spring Road to Manningsville Road. We all know that road.
Yes.
A sign was posted at either entrance to say, no trucks allowed. And someone called into a radio program and said, so who is going to monitor it? And I'm saying, but that's ridiculous. You can read. The sign says no trucks. And of course, we all know that when we drive through Cassava Piece, we're stuck behind or between or we're in front of a big truck coming through.
And there's a police station.
And there's the Constant Spring Police Station is right there, Dr. Stokes. So the point I'm making is, Edgerton, the indiscipline and the disregard and the fact that roads which are not built to accommodate vehicles of a certain weight, these vehicles run roughshod over these surfaces and put us back into the problem of having the roads not in good condition.
The problem we have is the monitoring of our environment, our space. And I go back to technical people within the various ministries. Nobody's there to monitor. The police is doing their own thing. In my case, the transport authority inspectors are doing their own thing. We need to have people who manage space. As you rightly said about that the link between
Mannington and Constant Spring Road.
Right. The police station is right there. Not true?
Yeah.
2 cars can barely pass on that road, but yet still you have a truck, maybe 16, 18-wheeler truck moving in that space.
Skillful drivers.
Skillful drivers, yes. And the police will walk down.
Yes.
Minding his own business. When you should ask that truck to reverse back to Mannington Hill Road or to Constant Spring Road. So the major problem we have is the management oversight of our environment in terms of our road conditions.
And on the monitoring and oversight aspect, Dr. Stokes, it comes back to the point that Noel was making about the weight of the vehicles. Because let's not kid ourselves. That is a significant problem behind the degradation of road surfaces. Because you and I know, if a man is loading a truck that is at capacity, but the truck looks like it has more space, you bet your bottom dollar that more cargo is going into that damaged road surfaces.
Absolutely, and that driver is incentivized to do that.
Yes.
And there is no cost.
No.
Right? There's road mash up or inspector walk past him or the police walk past him or anything. But you see, it comes back to where we started. How do you construct a society? Right? And part of that, and it probably falls in that middle thing I mentioned about education, is that citizens have responsibilities that they need to be aware of. Do they understand that when you do this and there's a cost and your cousin who is driving the taxi is going to drop into and then no, he can't make a living. We have a duty as a community to live together in a particular way. But the 2 things, one is we need to educate our people. Do you understand that this is what it is? And frankly, I'm not advocating, ticketing everybody, but there must be some sanctions for this sort of behavior. Otherwise, you will not be able to construct the society that you need.
I come to you, Dr. Simaj, with the valedictory response from this question. Do you get the sense that our municipal corporations do enough to police the spaces over which they have jurisdiction, especially the town centers, to ensure that the roads are used properly and that those heavy equipment, heavy machinery that would damage the roads are kept off? Are we doing a good job or a poor job at that, you would say?
We're doing no job at all. I think in terms of the roads, just basic roads in general, what we don't understand, behavior is governed by consequences. All right? Why people stop at a traffic light or a stop sign is because they have learned of the consequences in the past. In the US now, they've gone, and many countries, they've gone past the physical consequence. You go through a stop sign, you go through a traffic light, you get the ticket in the mail. Because it picks it up and it sends it right to you. Many highways in the US have removed tolls, toll people, because the toll is automatically deducted or automatically paid. You don't need to physically. The consequence is built in. Now, every now and then, we say something about consequences, but we never enforce consequences.
Yeah.
Some time ago, we had some webs at some major intersections in Kingston. Any car found in the web will be, eventually, the paint goes up. Because no reinforcement takes place.
Yeah.
Behavior, people don't automatically do the right thing. You do the right thing because your behavior was punished when you, even to do, if we go beyond, I'm just saying, let's wait for the next, what do you call it, when they give the people with 10,000 tickets incentive
amnesty.
Amnesty. And we have another amnesty because we don't enforce things.
Hear you on that.
We do.
Hear you on that. Have to run. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It was a blast, and I'm certainly, I'm certain that you learned from the experience for the 1 hour that we've been here. And remember, we finished this series on Wednesday with another lead story prime. The Minister in charge of Works, Robert Morgan, will be in the house.